is wrong. Because evangelism is not about mga doctrines, ilang Diyos, di ba? Ano simbahan? It's all about the moral teachings of the church. Ano ang tama at saka ano ang what is good and what is evil. At saka kailangan sa ngayon, di ba? BESs are awakened the reality of the sinful situation and the culture of death, and the responsibility to denounce and resist these evils. Kaya nga, we have to go to, of course, the Ten Commandments, di ba? To avoid mga idolatry, not just yung mga idol of power and wealth, di ba? Forsake, pagpatay, thou shalt not kill. Kahit addict yan, hindi yan papatayin, di ba? Abortion, di ba? Yung buhay nandiyan sa sinapupunan ng kasama yan. Pagnakaw, kasama yan. Yung pangurakot, kasama yan. Hindi yan natural. Kahit malaki yung posisyon sa gobyerno, pagnanakaw pa rin yan. Di ba? Telling the truth. Now, all of these things are very important. We have to teach. And we have to preach. And this is part of the moral formation. Kasi ang problema natin ngayon is kulang yan. We know ilang Diyos, isang Diyos sa tatlong persona. Ba't hanggang dyan lang, di ba? Yung what is called mga dogmas and doctrines, but we forget the essential things. Kaya malaking problema natin ngayon. Thus, the Christian community becomes truly a prophetic community that denounces evil in all its manifestation and announces the goodness of salvation, liberation, and justice, and peace. At lalo na ngayon, yung sinabi ni St. John Paul II, to announce the gospel of life, evangelium, that life is sacred. That is why that we're against that penalty, we're against extrajudicial killings. And that's also that we're against the destruction of the environment. Bakit nga? Because it's going to keep all of us. Anong mangyayari kung masisira ng kapaligiran? Patuloy ang mining. Patuloy ang global warming. We are committing suicide, di ba? Ay yung iba mga politiko, ang isip na nila kanyang pera ng mga ginansya, mga profits from this mining companies. Hindi man nakatulong sa mga bayan natin. Participation in the priestly mission. What does it mean? Hindi ibig sabihin na tayong lahat, hindi tayong magminisa. It means, first of all, our participation in the liturgical and sacramental celebration. Kaya is important na ating mga masses are participatory, di ba? Hindi lang yan ka-father lang yan, lahat, di ba? At saka participation in mga readings, di ba? Sharing, at saka sa ating pag-aawit. Minsan ang ating mga choir nagkikigupa na, ano ba yan? Nagko-concert na. At saka tayo mga tao lang, nais din pa naman, mag-voicing pa yan, saka very high pa mga kuwan, pitch, hindi na at saka mahirap, hindi na makakuwan. Kaya, mga tao, palakpakan na lang, di ba? Wala ko rin nung speak about pura natin participation, kasama na yan ang music di ba? Everyone should participate dyan, at saka yung sa preparation. So, dapat our liturgy is still participative, hindi lang solemn. Kasi iba din, iba sa solemnity, pero kulang ang festivity sa participation. At kaya nga, even in sa mga kwan, sa mga businesses, di ba? May mga choreography pa yan, mga drama pa yan. Ito, magagalit na, kapapanan. Hindi pwede, kaya dapat atin. Dapat ang ating pagkumpilin, dapat ay puro lang sa kwan. That I have to say that it's a community celebration yan. Diba? Diba? Festive, full, and active kayo to be more creative. Si Pope Francis speaks about the enculturation of liturgy to bring in our cultural forms. Diba? And that we also become worshiping and celebrating communities. No? Alam mo ninyo, ito pong priestly mission, hindi lang ito sa liturgical celebration. The more there is a more dangerous interpretation, ano ba yan? That like Jesus, we have to be prepared to offer our body in martyrdom. That is the highest expression of priesthood. Because to do this in memory of Him is not just celebration, it is also imitation. Ano ba? What did Jesus do? Di ba He gave up His life for our salvation? Ganyan din tayo eh. There are moments in our life we have to take risk. Hindi tayo matakot, di ba? We have to fulfill our mission to struggle against evil in our society. And in doing so, we must be prepared to embrace our cross. Alam ko, at this time, maraming takot. Baka matukhang sila just by speaking out. Kaya maraming natutuwa. We do not dare to speak out against evil in our midst. Whether it is corruption, whether it is abuse of power, di ba? And whether it is the violation of human, the destruction of the environment. When we do that, we must be prepared to offer our life. And that is the priesthood, the highest expression of priesthood. Okay, the third tayo is participation in social mission. Ang buhay Kristiyano ay hindi lang hanggang dasal, hindi lang hanggang pagbabasa ng Biblia. It also requires action on our part. And this is where ang mga businesses ganyan din expected from them. Kaya nga, yung full and active participation is expressed in service. But the kingly mission is service. Ito po this is what is unique about Christianity because we interpret kingship not just, kasi yung sa iba kapag hari, ikaw talaga ang di ba? Ikaw ang boss, di ba? Hari yan. Sa atin, ang hari ay ano yan? To be the servant. To be of service. And as servant communities, yung mga businesses are to express their loving service to one another and those in need, especially the poor. And that is why that we are called to a renewed social apostolate or social action. Social action po is part of our mission and it is part of the mission sa ating mga BEC. Question iba is, okay, social action. Ilang percent ang social? 95. Action, 5% lang. Social tayo palagi. No? So that is why that many of the BECs come up with programs and activities to address the problems that we face. Ano ba mga problema inharap ng mga BEC? Hunger, poverty, injustice, inequality, violence, gera, and conflict, drug addiction, extrajudicial killings, human rights violation, destruction of the environment, mga natural disaster. Ito ay malaking hamon sa ating mga BEC na hindi lang sila hanggang dasal at hanggang pagbahagi na ng salita ng Diyos at social action at saka talagang to address these problems. And they participate in making the kingdom of God a reality in this world by promoting peace, justice, integral development, liberation, and the integrity of the nation. Kaya nga, in response to poverty, BECs, may mga BECs that initiate ng IGP, implementing projects, graduate projects, microfinance, mga co-op, appropriate technology, sustainable agriculture, at job referral, ibang parte. Hindi yan. Anong mag-isipan nila? So, ecology, part of the social mission of BECs is to protect the environment. and respond to climate change. Anti-logging, anti-mining, anti-proper power plant, reforestation. These are actually all pictures when we're organizing mga bilis against logging in Bukidnon. Yung mga tao talagang magpasagasa na sa kalsada para hindi na makalusot ang mga logging trucks. It paid off because nag-declare ng total log ban na for province. Yung mga ibang areas doon, anti-mining, talagang kumikilos ang mga communities na. You don't wait na mga politiko, talagang mayroon talagang active non-violence na pagkikilos. Ang pinakabago ngayon ay what is called community-based rehabilitation program. Because we have recognized na drug addiction is a problem. But the solution is not patayin. Patayin ko kayo. The solution is healing. Because alam ko ninyo, addicts are also human beings. Many of them have undergone trauma sa childhood. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. At you need a healing para sa kanila. The more pressure there, the more stress, the more takutin yan, the more na the addiction persists. And it's not, hindi pwedeng patayin lang yan. They need compassion. And that's why that is where the community comes in. Ano ba ang itutulong sa community? How do we address? Kasi yung iba, the problem is poverty. Imagine, kung yung dahil sa kahirapan, pabayaan ng anak mo, a child that grows without even a touch of a mother or father or consistent care, that is going to become an addict. At lalo palagi yung minumura, palagi yung pinapalo, tsaka yung worst case of sexual abuse pa. That is going to create addiction. Kaya nga it's so important that we have to understand the problem, tsaka as a community, we must come up. And this is what Paris and these guys are doing. While protesting against extradition killing, but you have to do something more positive. This is where community-based regulation powers are being initiated. Itong sinabi ni St. John Paul II, the BECs are instruments of social transformation. They take root in the privileged and rural areas and become living of decent life, care for the poor, and a commitment to the transformation of society. Kaya, as committees of missionary disciples, the PECs carry out their triple mission within the parish, in their homes, neighborhood, in the barangay, the village, and the nearby communities. Hindi kailangan punta pa kayo sa malayong lugar, sa Africa ba yan, o sa Timbuktu ba yan, sa bayan. You must begin where you are. Sa inyong tahanan, sa inyong kapitbayan, sa inyong barangay, your places of work, sa schools, this is where you carry out your mission. And that's why that they go out to the peripheries in the parish and reach out to those who are baptized but not evangelized, those who are nominal or seasonal Catholics, and those who are alienated from the church. And they engage in dialogue with Christians from other denominations, those who belong to other religions. So the formation of BECs as agents of communion participation is an ongoing process. Hindi lang hanggang this year. Because BEC is not just a program or an activity, but a way of life. A culture that takes time to develop. And as we celebrate 2017 as year of the Paris communities, we should remember that it's not just a matter of celebration, but building a legacy, what continues. And for many of us, will simply plant seeds that will someday grow. Mag-out kasi naman tayo ang kayong forum. Ito lang, negosyo muna. You have to know more about businesses. Yan ako libro. Ito tayo sa mga Teresa, St. Paul's, o the St. Paul's stores. Doon it was in church, at saka yung, ano ba, yung kaya pagiging pare, at saka puro businesses. visiting the church in Rome. So you can buy them sa bookstores, Teresa, St. Paul, saka, go to our website, cdc.com. We have 20 minutes para open forum. You want to pass or open forum lang? Okay, so we have just conversation. Get your reaction, your insights. Okay? Or comments. Merong mga kanito, no? Una siya, and then ikaw. Okay. You just go nearby sa mga microphones. Okay?
Good afternoon, Father. I'm Josh Marasigan, graduate student here at the UNSU. May phenomenon po kasi ngayon, Father, with regards to people moving away from parishes and joining communities outside, like the feast, or what else? They're doing also mall masses. So, nagsisimba na sila sa mga mall ngayon, yung mga faithful. So, my question is, what can you say about the reality of the faithful moving away from parishes and VECs and towards other faith communities, such as the feast and mall chapels, preparing them, and considering their own experiences of the parish also, kasi karamihan po sa kanila may mga bad experiences po sila sa parish. So yun na po.
Actually, this is a phenomenon that we recognize. They have their own gifts, diba? That's why we call them our trans-parochial faith communities, diba? These are new forms of attempt to reach out to others going beyond the boundaries of the parish. This always been there, diba? Whether you put it mga couples for Christ, youth for Christ, senior for Christ, they have something to contribute to the life of the church, lalo na sa urban areas, but they do not replace the parish. Because you have to go to your neighborhood at saka yung parish, diba? While being enriched by the feast, gano'n, diba? But you still have to be in communion with your neighbors. Kasi na malapit sa inyo. At saka you're still part of a parish. At the same time, we recognize that lalo sa minsan kasi it's easier to bond with your office mates, di ba? Those you can see, at saka yung people you don't know very well than those you know, matagal na, di ba? Kasi meron pa yung mga dynamics, di ba? So it's not either or. You are enriched by these new forms of communion, still communion, but it stands for by nature, and you have these covenant communities. At the same time, this does not excuse you from being involved and to help your own others. Actually, the trend ngayon is kahit yung couples for Christ, no only trend na, couples for Christ at Tagasla, at saka DDC kami. Ngayon, the new trend is they're offering their service to the parish. Lalo na what they have got, yung their technology, evangelization, diba? They're very, very strong in the area of evangelization, yung personal conversion, diba? At saka they're sharing that yung iba, they're volunteering to be part of mga diocesan teams or parish teams. So, actually, especially this year, they become more and more aware. Ngayon, tomorrow, I was asked to be the guest speaker sa Knights of Columbus, ng National Convention. At saka, you want me to talk about ano mga natutulong nila, mga Knights sa kanyang parokya. Malaki yan kasi alam mo yung mga babae palaging nag-participate. Have you been up men's fellowship, men's movement, to become more aware of their responsibility. So, it's not either or. You be enriched by this experience, but remember, you still have your own neighborhood as a parish, and probably you can help. There. Kung may mga kakulangan, it's not enough just to complain, because this is also our parish. Yung parish, it just comes and goes, di ba? But we're always there. Kaya nga, how do we enrich our parish, become more participative? I think that is part of our objective.
Dr. Father Picandal, my name is Brother Patrico from CBCB Commission on Healthcare, caring for the handicapped, sick, and the dying. In my experience, Father, DEC, the Archdiocese of Cagayan de Oro, yung mga deaf mute, mga hipe, kasama sa Manila. Father, kasi po iba dyan, may phobia. So, ang ginagawa ko nung dito ko nag-start sa DLSU ending way back 96-97, i-encourage ko magsimba. Parehong project po namin ni Father Luke. Nag-start ako nagpakain 2001. Nag-talk with the mga kaibigan ko, kaklase ko, mayayaman. Sometimes, dead parishioner ko sa St. Benil, 1,000 niya magsisimba. Ito, 1,000. Pakainin mo sila, may dessert pa yan. Pagdating ng summer camp ko, sa my congregation ko, sa Assumptionist, Taco Cagayan de Oro, Tacloban, and then Ligaraw, 5,000 ang handicap ko. Ito to, pag summer. I will talk with the pero ang mga secret ko talaga, secret ingredient ko, as a being a rich brother, patience. Secondly, service commitment. And thirdly, smile. Minsan kinikindat ko na lang yung mga magaganda babae para dito to, parang tulungan natin yung mga kapansanan. Hindi nila ako matanggi. Minsan po, Father, birthday ko, alam nila, anak ko minsan 5,000. Mahirap ko magpakain. Pero sa akin, patient, pinaka-importante, service commitment. Yun po, experience mo as a spirit educator or sign language interpreter as a 20 years. Napaka-mahirap po. Yung maganda topic ni Father about PEC, barangay Father, ang daming mental retarded. Marami po. Sa probinsya yun, ma'am. Marami. Papakainin ko, gano'n. Patient talaga. Patient. Yun ang po, Father. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's important na every community must be aware. Lalo na yung mga iba, different people na tawag mo dyan, diba? To care for them. Kasi they're also something to teach us. And also large, diba? Yung panila na all the community that are enriched also with those okay, so naman, diba? We want to talk with us, go to the nearest microphone. Okay. Ikaw at saka yung
Nagkakaroon po, Erwin po from Kairos. Father, in the light of participation of the way in mission, are you in favor of restoring again the state of permanent people? At ano po ang stand ng CBCP?
actually, there is also a permanent diaconate na in the US. Ang sa Philippines, hindi pa. I don't know why is that. No? Actually, there was a time na the idea sa Mindanao na yung tinatawag na mga liturgical leaders sa mga BECs, they were the ones that were conceptualized as a later on. Pero I don't know why there's been no follow-up of that. Kasi hindi yan pinag-usapan sa ngayon, no? But that is already a reality lalo na sa lalo na sa US. No? So hindi ko alam bakit baka wala. Alam mo, ang deacons are not considered as lay people. They're part of the legal state, no? And I think I understand why sa iba they do not favor it para to enhance their participation. Kasi kaya nga, there is actually a reaction to the clericalization of mga lay liturgical leaders sa BECs. We don't want them to be clericalized. They have to be out their lay status. And I think that is one of the risks. Kasi noon, there was an idea na yung mga leaders sa BECs gawing deacon. Pero I think one of the argument against that, if we make them deacon, kasi ang problema nga is the clericalization of the deity eh. Parang hindi act like pare-pare or no? Kaya si Pope Francis recently sabi niya, di ba? We have to avoid clericalizing the deity because on their own right, they're already that one eh. It's a matter of exercising that active participation. Kaya active participation does not mean that we clericalize the deity. No? But as of now, wala pang nakikita for a permanent diaconate. But there is walang hadlang for that. But I still hope that someday, natin din yan. But right now, the fight is how do we enable the lay people, men and women, young and old, to actively participate in the mission. Okay, yung naka-green.
Father, I'm Rowena Cabilitasa from Divine Life Academy, and right now the student of the program Tears Yuchengco, class 22. I already experienced about BEC in the early 90s. I worked in the parish for 2 years, so I can easily relate to what you're talking about, and I'm so glad that I'm hearing more about it now in our modern times. And my question is about, in connection with the question of Sir kanina about the feast. And it's nice to hear na ang tawag pala po sa akin na trans-parochial communities that are accepted in our church. Now, ako po ay participant ko na feast right now. So, if ever yung iba po hindi pa rin po nakakapasok sa ganung community, I would like to share na meron din po ang feast na mass ginagawa before the worship begins. And meron din po titles, etc. na we have served as sharing. Meron din po kami na tinatawag na caring group or yung life group na wherein hindi po siya sama-sama sa parish. Of course, BEC belongs to the parish niya po. E dito po sa feast, kami naman yung grupo mo belongs to the, for example, mga married couples, singles, mga children, mga youth. Yung po ang nagkakaroon ng group is to share the Bible, to share the Word of God, and then yung about life, and also helping each other, counseling like that. So yun po ba, can we also consider it as BEC also? Hindi siya kasi parochial?
Kasi BEC is by nature territorial and intra-parochial, di ba? Although you have similar mga dynamics sa BEC, kasi sa BEC kasi, they're directly under the authority and pastoral care of the parish priest. They're an organic, integral part of the parish. Diba? So yan ang nature sa BEC. Although may mga, kasi Katoliko din kayo eh. Kaya namin mga sabi ko, similarities, diba? But the big difference is that BEC is an intra-parochial at saka territorial. Diba? Mga lomas, mga are trans-parochial, di ba? But they have to be still be in communion with the church, di ba? But not necessarily at the, of course, parochial level, but the diocese, di ba? Kasi and that's very important that you have to be in constant communion with the diocese, with the parish. Otherwise, you become what is called a sect. Autonomous at saka magiging you'll drift, yun ang problema. So, you preserve this communion Kasi communion is not just internal. It is communion with the institutional church, with all the structures that are there. Okay, it's important na kaya yung iba, di ba, yung mga building, marami kasi mga transparental, diba? Na active, they're not suppressed, di ba, they're encouraged kasi malaki kasi silang natutulong At the same time, they're reminded na be sure na pag-witness yung diba? Na makatulong kayo to enrich parish life sa community life. Saka what you have experienced, you're able to share with others. So yun patuloy sa mga activities at the same time na being also involved sa inyong mga plan. Kaya meron na yung mga parish formation teams composed of my charismatic, sa dahil may proposed but there was one thing that helps Paris space form BPCs.
Okay po. Tsaka po, para rin po kasi ang message niyo po sa amin is that po, para daw po yung ating mga Catholics, hindi po ma-convert sa ibang worshiping groups na nagmaalis na sa Catholic Church because they found Jesus in that community. Pero pagdating po sa atin sa faith, din po, para daw po tayo malilis na at least Catholic pa rin po yung doctrines natin dito sa ganitong kalitan ng transparochial natin.
Tama.
Yung po yung message po.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you po, Father.
Okay, meron pa lang. Sige.
Good afternoon, Father. I'm Henry from Alps, Our Lady of Peace. I would like, we have observed the institutional aspect of the church is already very strong. And I like so much what you said, the communal aspect somehow is lagging behind. Now, is there a conscious effort on the part of the parish to give more importance really to revive the dying communion aspect? Because you said that it's very good that it should be experienced. Yeah, many Catholics are transferring to other denominations because this they claim they could feel more there. So the experiential aspect somehow needs to be improved. Is there a conscious effort to do that in the past?
Yeah, that is why that is a trust, especially for this year, di ba? Paris communities to build up BECs as agents of communion, participation, and vision, di ba? Ngayon, the trend is almost 90% of the dioceses have adopted it as a pastoral trust or priority. But it's a question of ano ba ang natutulong? Kasi kung pare lang mag-implement, hindi naman yan makaya eh. Ano yun, it requires lay participation, tsaka yung mga religious, di ba? On that level, kasi a parish priest is only isa siya, di ba? Even if he wants, kung mag-isa, kaya nga, we always promote na support mga parish formation teams composed of lay people and religious. Saka bawat mga barangay, mga core groups, mga core teams, to start this experience of community. So this is actually pamatagalan nito eh. Kasi we're looking at the future as the church not just a parish, but again, communion of communities. We are emphasizing smaller units. Now, talagang maranasan ang communal aspect. That's what we have heard about the Acts of the Apostles. That sense of belonging, saka yung participation, di ba? At saka yung talagang kikilos yan. So this is a vision. Vatican II pa ito, at saka PCP II eh. And, you know, it takes time to implement it. But it requires active participation, lalo na sa mga lay people. Ngayon, we're still on the level of making them understand. We're selling this vision. Nandiyan na yan, yung iba, they don't fully understand it. Nakala nila, it's just Catholic sharing. Isa kadasa lang. No? But what is important is yung kanil, we're trying to promote to catch the vision and make it a reality. Sa ibang areas, it's so alive na. Sa iba, they're just starting.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nessie Churay from Santa Clara de Montepaco Parish. Some 2 weeks ago, Bishop Fabinho was a guest in our parish, and he talked. The topic was on BEC, and it was presented in a very, very simple manner that we are all BECs. We are all members of the BECs. Although we belong to different organizations, and I fully remember. I want to share with this group one simple word that describes BEC, magkakapitbahayanan. So, with that word, that means that you cannot belong to the BEC of another area. You should belong to your own BEC. If you belong to Area 1, don't go to Area 3. So, if in our parish, we have at least 52 families for FPBEC because it's quite big. 52, which means 52 months. So they bring the image of Mama Mary in every house, and they pray for it, sharing, fellowship, and all that. So the word used by Bishop Fabinho, and it even in other BEC seminars that I've heard is always that word, magkakapit-bahayanan. Yung munting simbahan sa isang parokya. Because what we are discussing now is a bigger dimension of BEC, like the feast, trans-parochial and all that. We will go to that later on, but I think what Cardinal Tagle or Bishop Pabilio wants to have now is to start from the roots, to belong to your own group, to belong to your own neighborhood.
Tama yan. So, meron pang, I think time is up. One more before we go.
Father Richard from LSU. I just arrived yesterday from Santo Tomato from there, and then I'm very inspired by the dynamism of the GKK, as the DEC. And I was there as a resource person to conduct the programs, but at the end of the day, I was the one who was inspired. Me myself is a product of BEC in my parish in Parañaque, and I remember this question coming from a parish priest nearby this school, and of course they belong to the archdiocese, and he asked me a question because they're planning to revive and to sustain their BEC or to develop their BEC program, and he asked me a very simple question: is it possible to create BEC in the urban area? And my realization is this: in spite the availability of talents and resources of the parishes in Manila, mahirap mag-sustain ng BEC sa Manila. Compared to the provinces na kulang sa talents, kulang sa resources, but if you're there, if you'll be immersed, abundant ang tinatawag natin yung sense of communion. So, as the Executive Secretary of the CBC-PBEC, what do you think are the challenges of sustaining the BEC in the urban area like Manila?
Actually, November 2015, we had our National BEC Assembly. 1,500 mga delegates from mga 75 dioceses. And the host of that was the Archdiocese of Manila and the Suffragan dioceses. And they were actually, the accommodation was in mga BEC areas. And I was surprised, and they were also surprised na meron pa na mga BEC sa NCR, sa Metro Manila. They have, there are BECs, but different kasi ang kanilang anyo than the BECs in the province. No? And I think we have to recognize that. And that is why that I will say, do not copy the BEC in Mindanao, lalo sa rural areas. And do not use their own strategy kasi iba-iba kasi yan eh. No? What is important is more reactive. What is it that will bring us together as a community, lalo na in our own particular neighborhood. No, knowing na, ang problema kasi sa urban area is we are what we call heterogeneous communities, di ba? Sa homogeneous kaya sa probinsya, the same rhythm of life, the same trabaho, the same area, di ba? You have one place, pero iba-iba yan pinupuntahan eh. Work areas. Minsan, umuwi na yan, late at night, umalis early morning, di ba? So, ano ba ang mga, you have to, that's why you need a more deeper study. What kind of communities and what forms of communities that will thrive in an urban setting. And this is parang something that we need to constantly study. But all I know is, alam nyo sa last days, that was the open, our combination, 12,000 ang nakasya sa Yuchengco taas ko doon. Saka marami pang what to go, because we need to ma-fit in. It was beyond our expectation. Na meron talaga mga BECs dito sa NCR. Although, iba-ibang mga forms, but they are there. At saka iba siguro ang mga magkasa. This is something that is ongoing. Pero what is important is not to find ways. Ano ba mga effective ways? No? And this is a challenge. Study your conditions, di ba? At saka be more critical in the way you go about it, and then be more creative. And this is again a challenge. Meron pang isa. Okay, last na talaga yan.
Good afternoon po, Father. So, I'm Tuesday po and part of Kairos and IS faculty po of the SUSTC. And also, I may also share as an active member of our parish then, here in Sampaloc, Manila. I would like to share po to everybody that it is actually one way of the church to reach out to the people in the community. And as tama po yung, actually, I can see the beauty of this seminar talaga, that to encourage people in the community na puntahan talaga, lapitan talaga yung bawat community. Say for example po, I'm also the LECOM po, part of the LECOM, Lectors Commentators Ministry, and we are actually tasked to go to the community, in our community, for example, in my barangay, to communicate with the barangay chairmans first, and then with the barangay chairman, and then to know how many families do we have in the barangay, and then as